Okay, we're live. Welcome, Danny and Keenan. Nice to meet you both.
Great to meet you, Danny.
Yeah, nice to
Thank
meet
you.
you.
Um, so thank you for being here. For our audience, this is a series that we at Monday CRM talk to our partners, the people who actually meet many of the customers that eventually use Monday and Monday CRM. We have a kind of a list of questions here that we're going to go through. Feel free, guys, to, free flow and share as much as you want. But first, let's dive in with some introductions. Um, who are you? What's the company? Where are you located?
Yeah, I guess I'll start. So my name is Keenan. I'm one of the co-founders here at workiflow. We're specialized in really the North American region is our focus area. I'm personally based in Portugal. And yeah, Danny, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, so we're effectively a global remote company. So we're based out in many different countries from South America and Central America to North America to South Africa and some parts of Europe. And I'm also Danny. I'm the CEO at workiflow. Kind of forgot that piece, but yeah,
Important. So no headquarters, no office, one office for everybody.
that's right.
Have you ever met the
Oh,
two of you?
yeah,
Right.
we actually recently had an owners retreat back in March in Portugal. So some of the owners were able to fly out and have a really cool get together and focus on the business.
As well as at the Monday.com Partner Summits in London, we've met twice there as well. But yeah.
Amazing. Well, Elevate is happening soon as well. I'm hoping to see you there too. Uh,
Absolutely.
We're actually gonna have a booth at the New York Elevate, so you'll definitely see us there as well as a few other people from the team. Yeah.
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, that's great. So tell me a little bit about what industry, if at all, you specialized in.
Yeah, sure. I'll take that one. So, one of the industries that we've really leaned into is, I would say legal, but more specifically working with law firms, right? We've actually developed a solution, specifically for law firms using the CRM product, um, to really help them manage their sales pipeline, as well as the case management aspect. And we've actually done a ton of custom development to support this solution, and had the opportunity to work with, I would say, in the hundreds now of law firms that we've worked with. So yeah, that's definitely one of the core industries. Yeah.
That's cool. So it's interesting because every partner I talk to is kind of coming from a different industry or just spoke with construction and real estate and all that. And I'm curious to why law firms, like that wouldn't be kind of a traditional maybe use case for, especially for sales, but in general, maybe, or maybe that's why they need it because it's not traditionally thought of in that direction.
Yeah, so a bit of a backstory. One of my longest term clients, if I can say that, her name is Nadine, and she has an immigration law firm. And actually, I would say about 5 years ago, when I was really starting out with Monday, she was one of my first clients that I worked with. And I just developed this really close relationship with her, helping her to build out a solution for her law firm. And we worked together for about 2 years to really develop the exact solution that she wanted, and that works for her team. And Nadine being if I could say, like a thought leader within that space, naturally was showing her solution to other law firms, and started to create this interest. And they then came to us and was like, hey, we also want a solution like Nadine's. So I actually formed a partnership with Nadine on our solution. It's called Caseflow. And so yeah, not really an industry that we specifically went out looking for. It more just came to us, and somehow we're now experts in in working with law firms. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, my next question would have been why these law firms come to you, but this story kind of explains it. I'm guessing once you kind of get the ball rolling and you have a use case and there's some, the branding kind of does the work for you.
100%, yeah. And as I mentioned, I think I definitely have to give credit to Nadine. She's really she's got a lot of authority in that space and industry, and we built an amazing solution and just got great feedback from all the law firms that we've worked with, and so this is just snowballed and word has gotten out, um, and so yeah.
Very nice. So we know why you're there and we know why your clients coming to choose you as a company, but what specifically about Monday CRM can you tell us that is so relevant to this audience?
Yeah, to law firms specifically. So I would say that a lot of law firms right now, cases are complex, right? Cases are very complex. There's a lot of different stages and tasks and a lot of teams involved in a case. Like for example, for the immigration law firms that we work with, some of these cases can last like 10 to 15 years before the case is actually closed, right? So in between that, there's hundreds of steps that need to be taken and handoffs happening between different attorneys and paralegals and so before our solution, a lot of the law firms that we're working with are just using different spreadsheets and really trying their best to manage things. But now being able to bring that into Monday and everybody is assigned their tasks and has due dates and is able to work conlusively. So I would just say because it's really complex, the types of cases that these law firms work with.
Yeah, and while you were talking, I was trying to kind of put myself in the shoes of managing a project like that, and I'm guessing like with companies and other industries, even if you have like a rigid deadline, okay, maybe you're late, maybe the whole project is late, but at the end of the day, most things are kind of flexible. This is if you have a court date, that's kind of a like that's the law. You can't just be late for it. You have to like this is sometimes life and death. So I'm guessing it's way more rigid than other industries.
Yeah, the stakes are definitely a lot higher, and that's true. It's people's lives at the end of the day. For immigration lawyers, it's whether they get a green card or whether they get deported, or for other legal industries, it could mean going to jail, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely the stakes are high.
Got it. And Danny, maybe I'll switch a little bit to you. Can you share maybe just a general, like we just were talking about how these things have so much weight, like a CRM or Monday moment that kind of stands out?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that for us that we really pride ourselves in is the way we build out our solutions. So one moment that really stands out to me was being able to take a very large marketing firm of about 120 people and migrate them over into Monday, work management and also CRM. And one of the things that we really noticed was not only were they able to work more effectively, but they were able to actually have a lot less delays because they were actually able to start communicating more consistently and clearly with each other. And not, for example, if you have like 100 different messages with all your different team members, it's kind of hard to find like the task you're looking for. So within Monday CRM, you can actually retrofit it not just for a sales specific process, but also for a intake specific process that feeds into your whole project management piece. So it's really cool to see the modularity behind Monday CRM. I think that's something that always stands out to me.
Yeah, I keep hearing it over and over, building blocks. It's all building blocks and you can build whatever you want. That's the beauty of it.
Right.
As a as a marketer, you were saying I was trying to remember what I did like 5 to 10 years ago when we just started. It was spreadsheets and notes and yeah. So obviously you have the building blocks. Which one's your favorite? Like a feature or something that you kind of really like to use?
Something that's more recent that just came out is the Zoom integration. So, for example, whenever we have a call with a client and those Zoom summaries slash notes get generated, you can actually connect your Zoom account to Monday so that when you have your CRM database in place, any and all call recordings finds the right contact people and then automatically updates the emails and activities with that specific Zoom recording or notes. And then what's really cool is that as you're building up this history, you can then use the Monday AI feature to then summarize all your different Zoom calls and notes and calls. So you can actually have a one-stop shop of like what's actually going on with my client.
Love
Uh,
it.
I can maybe add one feature as well that I love of
Yeah,
CRM.
of course.
So one of the ones that works really well specifically for the law firms that I work with is the status label change conditions, right? So being able to set these required fields for certain stages is really, really, really important for the law firms. You know, if they change the stage of their case to RFE, which is request for evidence, then the form pops up and they need to put in the dates of when that is due, you know, and things like that. So I think the status label change conditions has been a really game changer in terms of like data hygiene and data consistency. So yeah, that's my thought.
Yeah, that's a great point. You don't want to keep moving stages and then realize 2 months later that there was something you were missing back then. And for sure, yeah. Um, so, what is kind of a use case you delivered the most in terms of whether it's the law firms or maybe other other industries, just people coming in? What is kind of the basic use that most people want?
So maybe I can start with this one. I think the most important thing when you're transitioning from spreadsheets into any CRM, especially inside of Monday, is you're building something called a relational database. So you have a person and you have their contact details, the company, and maybe the location that they're associated. And a lot of times with spreadsheets, let's say you have three people from company A, you'll literally have to list out the three people three times and the company three times. What Monday effectively allows you to do is say, I have this one company related to these three people, so there's no more duplication of data, which means that the data is a lot more relational, which also means it's a lot cleaner and easier to manage. And what's really neat about Monday is that then you can build automations and cadences around that. So then your clients can feel like they're more consistently reaching out and communicating with their clients, which means more money at the end of the day.
Right. So what I'm hearing is basically you're layering it out. We start with the basics, just kind of understand how the whole thing works, obviously in a more efficient and automated way. Then there's more layers, more complications that we can add to it for maximum use.
Right. So I think, yeah, the most general use case is just building up those relationships so you can build that foundation.
Yeah. All right. So you're seeing both Monday use cases, obviously, but also from other companies. I'm guessing when you come in and maybe they transition from a different platform, what is something that people don't do, shouldn't do? The opposite of a go-to. I don't know which one it would be, but in general, in CRM building or using.
I think a very important idea is bad data in, bad data out. So you want to make sure you have a structure in place of how you're actually filling out the contact details. So one thing that Monday has is outside of the status label conditions, which also say fill out these properties, you can build out a form that tells you you always need to fill out these details in this manner so that we have a proper database. Because if you have a bunch of duplications, incorrect email addresses, or incorrect phone numbers, you won't be able to really do much with that.
Yeah. And
Okay, interesting. Um, What is kind of a hack that you like to use? Maybe I'm not talking about specific feature, but maybe a combination or something that you kind of cracked that you were excited about or happy with the result.
One thing that I thought was really cool is when you're building out these different like blocks, like the building blocks as you were mentioning previously, how do we have them communicate to each other, but also communicate to other parts of the business, right? Do you have your CRM piece, which may deal with deals or some form of sales cycle? How do we actually know what the deal value is? And then how do we generate the reports that actually make sense for your business? So I think one hack, and honestly, a very common hack is building out a flow so that you can get super in the weeds, but still have a super high level view so that leadership team knows what the heck is actually going within the business. And so for me, one of the hacks was, and it's a little bit more recent, is how much more modular the charts have become now that Monday has released a lot more updates for the charting and the way that you can customize those charts that are generated.
Love it. Yeah, obviously the communication is important, especially when we're talking about the general Monday platform, and the connection between that and the CRM. Um, Kind of to switch gears a little bit, going kind of more into the sales world. I always usually when you hear tips and information and people sharing knowledge about sales, it's about the calls, right? With the tips of the calls, how to manage a call, how to manage the process and all. And in my mind, like 50% of it is the bureaucracy of it all. We know that people hate their CRMs in general as kind of a traditional mindset, and that's what Monday CRM is trying to fix. Um, but you know, what's your kind of sales hot take when it comes to, I'm not talking about the calls themselves. That's, I'm talking about the management of a deal in general.
Yeah. If you have the best solution in the world and no one uses it, what's the point? And that actually ends up creating a lot of delays. And as we know, time ends up killing all deals. So you have a solution, no one's using it. There's no consistency in the way they're actually communicating with their clients. That could end up costing up either minutes or hours or potentially even days. And so what that means is that most of the time, a lot of deals may be left out in the pipeline and never get reached out to, which means there's just a lot of money on the table because a lead was just forgotten about. And I think a real important hot take in this is like, man, communicate consistently. And the only way you can do that is by having a proper system in place.
Yeah, that makes sense. Is there a way that you think to do it like more easily, like get people on board to use the platform?
Yeah. Um, just because you can see all the information doesn't mean you should. So when you build out a proper solution, make it as easy as possible. Sometimes people think complexity means better, but in reality, what you want to do is have a little simple place, one-stop shop for your team. They click like one or two buttons so they can dial or call or send a message, and that's it. There's no need to show them 100 different columns of all the different automations in the background. It's just going to cause confusion and they're going to feel overwhelmed. So simplicity is definitely one of those key factors that leads to success.
Yeah. Um, Tell me about, if anything comes to mind, like a crazy setup. Maybe it's one that you helped create, like in an impressive way, or maybe it could be from a different CRM or whatever comes to mind. I'd love to hear kind of something interesting.
I might let Keaton take this because there's so many cool solutions that we built out with Caseflow.
Yeah, sure. So I recently built out a solution for a law firm where they they do corporate immigration law, right? And their cases, their clients are corporations, and the cases that they deal with are all the employees and their immigration needs, right? So actually bringing in those HR managers from the companies into Monday and building out a dashboard for them to be able to see where all of their employees' cases are, right? So their account currently has like over 50 of their big corporate clients that are guests in their accounts, and they're actually able to go to a dashboard and see all of their cases. And because it's an enterprise account and we can leverage item-based permissions, it's one dashboard, and depending on which client goes to that dashboard, they only see the data that's relevant. And so, yeah, that was quite a big build out. Obviously, making sure the permissions are in place and it's locked down really tight. But at the end of the day, it's been really great feedback. And I think one of the really good success stories that we have of uh, actually bringing your clients into Monday.com. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So just to understand, there's basically two layers of customers here, right? You have the actual you helped the law firm that helps the companies that helps the actual HR people.
Well, no, no, no. So it's like you have the law firm, they do corporate immigration,
Yeah,
right? Their clients are big companies, right? So imagine Google, for
yeah,
example.
yeah, yeah.
So if Google was their client and Google has hundreds of employees that are always moving around across the world and need visas and stuff, right? So uh, we build out the solution to manage those cases. And then the HR managers would be from Google, right? So Google would,
Right.
we would actually invite the HR manager in from Google. They could then see all of the employees, have their visas been approved? Can we actually hire this person once their visa is approved? And can we move this person to a different location? Have they got their visa yet, etc. So, yeah, does that answer?
Yeah, 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 for sure. That's really cool. Well, we have here at Monday over 2,500. I don't know how many employees in the company at this point. I'm sure this all these moving around happens all the time. So yeah, that's awesome. We're kind of coming up to the end here. I have two more questions. One would be when a customer comes to you. Um, I'm guessing the first thing you do is kind of an audit on where they stand today. Uh, Tell me what you're looking, how are you assessing the situation? What are you looking for?
I can take that one. So I think one of the first things that I do when I'm looking at somebody's CRM setup, whether that's in Monday or in a different platform, is try to look at it from the perspective of a new hire, right? If you were hired by that company today, would you be able to understand what's going on? Would you actually understand that pipeline within a few minutes? And I think most of the times the answer is no, because there's too much complexity, right? So, is the pipeline too complex? Is the nomenclature that's being used in there something that is general and easy to relate to somebody that doesn't know the company and is a brand new hire in that company?
Yeah, that's sounds obvious, but it's not. All right, last question. How do you define your success, the success of your clients, but your success for them? Because obviously we're talking about dashboards and all that and helping the system, but do you have specific like KPIs you look at? Um, yeah, just love your angle on that.
Yeah, for me at least, there's three main ways that I like to measure success. The first one is how many touch points are the reps actually doing and how consistently are they adhering to a consistent timeline? Meaning, are they always falling behind or are they actually reaching proactively or at least at the right time? The second one would be what does the closing ratio look like? So outside of having all the automations and templated emails and cadences that are set up, does that actually affect the bottom line or not? Because obviously, if you're going to pay us money, we want to make sure you're making more money at the end of the day. And then thirdly is what does time savings end up actually looking like? If you're no longer having to do all this manual data entry, write up all these different emails, what does the actual time look like for each person as well as for the company as a whole?
Oh, okay, I see. So basically you tie your success with the company's success.
If, exactly.
Yeah, I can
Interesting.
also give my take on this as well. So
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I look out for that really determines whether their CRM is a success or not is are deals actually moving forward without people having to go and manually like nudge people along and be like, hey, what's happening on this deal? What's happening on that deal, right? So are deals actually just moving forward by themselves in terms of, uh, when the legal team approves the contract, is the sales team aware of that, and are they now pushing the deal forward after that, as an example? And then just as a final one on a final thing to consider is how long is it taking to report the sales data? Is their dashboard set up that they can go and in a few seconds see all of the data that they need to, or are they having to do some kind of manual reporting and export into Excel and then try visualize those KPIs. So are deals moving along by themselves without people nudging, and is reporting happening in seconds and not hours, right?
And the nudging, how do you know they're nudging? By seeing comments on the actual task? Is that the way to look at it?
Yeah, I think also just, having leads in the pipeline that are just sitting in a stage for months, right? And they're not actually moving along, right? They're getting stuck in the pipeline. There's bottlenecks, and yeah, they're not moving along, if I can say that.
Got it. Okay. Wow, that's went through this pretty quickly, but I appreciate both of your time. And it sounds like you're in good hands. Your clients are in good hands, I should say, especially the legal ones, which we are mostly, worried about. But again, yeah, thank you. It's been a pleasure. Love the insights, love the expertise, and we'll be in touch.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Danny. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Thanks for having us.